Good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you could make it. Today we're going to be playing my first full round of 18 holes. Since this lockdown has been eased, I cannot wait to get out there. Yeah, apologies for that. Somebody's got to support them, I suppose. But they're my team. Anyway, as I said, first 18 hole round, I'm going to go through and show you some of the shots that I've played during the round. I'm also going to do one hole where I show you every shot that I actually hit. And then at the end, I will show you my scorecard, how I fared during the round. I'll talk about the different conditions that there was, how I was feeling physically, mentally, etc. I think it's really important to see where your game is at, whether it's 9 holes, 18 holes, because you've got different factors such as stamina, you've got your concentration levels. All these things you're not really going to know how they fare because you haven't played in so long. I'm just going to go out there with an open mind, play my normal game and see how I get on. I don't think I'll be needing that. And most certainly will be needing these. So everything's in the car that we need, ready to go and play our first full round of 18 holes on the golf course. I'm really looking forward to this. I cannot wait to get going. This is Nick Does Golf. So, first hole is the hardest hole on the course. Stroke index 1, tough par 4, right to left. First shot, driver. I've hit a nice little draw off the tee, just to the left of the fairway bunker. Great shot. Set me up perfectly for the second shot going into the green. As it was downwind, I've only left myself with a gap wedge in. Bearing in mind that this hole is 415 yards off the yellows. Hitting a gap wedge. I hit my gap wedge probably about 110. According to this, I've hit my drive 300 yards, which isn't bad for a first shot. From there, I just took dead aim at the flag. No questions asked, dead aim at it. It's a little bit more downwind. So I thought I'd hit this ball as high as I could up in the air. The green generally slopes right to left, so if it drifts to the right, it should technically bounce to the left down towards the hole. So as you can see from this shot on the tracer, it's gone slightly right of the flag, which is perfect, which is what you want. Pitched on the front edge of the green and it's released down towards the flag. That's gotta be a gimme. As you can tell from my reaction, I was pretty pleased with it. I've knocked that in, nice birdie to start with. Hardest hole, just what you want. From there I've moved on to the second, another long par 4. 90-degree dogleg to the right. So I've tried to hit a little cut off the tee box from here. I've caught it slightly heavy, not how I wanted it to, leaving me a longer shot in for my second. From there, again, I've tried to hit a little cut, hit it well, but not into the intended target that I wanted to. So I've missed the green right with this one. I've chipped on, I've managed to get up and down from there to save my par. So moving on, the next few holes are quite difficult, very picturesque, lovely holes to play. So I've had a couple of pars and a couple of bogeys on there. So I've gone on the third, par, fourth, bogey. Fifth I've parred, long par 5. I actually stumbled across some coronavirus on this one, if you look closely. But we got rid of that pretty sharpish. And then the 6th, coming down the slope, I've bogeyed it. So in my head, what I try and do is break the 18 holes up into 6 threes, if you like. So 1, 2 and 3, that's one of them. 4, 5, 6, that's another one, and so on as you go through. What I try and do is, if I can break it up into those 6, it takes away the fact of me thinking about future holes. So if I'm on the 3rd, for example, it stops me from thinking about the 17th, the 18th, what shots I'm going to be hitting on there, because that just doesn't make sense. I'd rather try and stay in the present moment, which is going to be better for me, because this is going to help me play better shots. It's very easy when you're playing badly to think about future holes coming up. So you're worrying about, oh, I need to hit the ball over this water or round this tree. What's the point in thinking about stuff like that when you haven't even got there yet? This is a great tip for anybody who does struggle with thinking ahead all the time, worrying about what they're going to be doing on the back 9 or in future holes. If you try and break it down as much as you can, it enables you to focus on the target that you're trying to do, whether it's trying to play to your handicap or trying to play under or trying to have a better front 9. From there, the blue starts to open up. It gets a little bit easier. The 7th is a short par 4, downwind. I parred that one. So it steadied the ship a little bit after the bogey on the 6th. Then to the 8th. Now, on the video here, you can see that I've taken it over the corner. It's a dogleg right to left, 90 degrees. I've taken it over the corner with my driver, left me a short chip in. Now, I don't know whether you can see this, but that putt I hit actually went in. It doesn't look like it looks like it's lipped out, but it actually went in. Because the holes aren't as deep because of this whole coronavirus thing, because if that happened in a competition, you'd be fuming. And to finish the back 9 off, we've got a par 3. Relatively short, playing 150 off the yellows. I've just hit a wedge into that one. Onto the green, relatively large putt, knocked it to within 3 foot and finished it off the par. There we have it, there's my front 9. Rounding 35, around the blue, one of the probably the toughest 9 holes out of the 3 courses here at the Shropshire. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Then we started the back 9. Now, I started this back 9 like a rocket going off. It was mental. I went 3 under through the first 4 holes on the back 9. So on the 10th, birdie, 11th, par, and then 12 and 13, I birdied both of them, the par 5 and the par 4, the short. However, very doable. So I'm very pleased to have done that. Now at this point, it's very easy to focus on the overall score that you're on. That made me 3 under par after 13 holes. and it's very easy to get your mind so hung up on this. So after I'd birdied 13, so the first hole of the 3 holes that I'm focusing on, my mind began to drift a little bit. I got through 14 and 15, absolutely fine, parred both of those. But then, a simple mistake comes in. These do happen. I misclubbed on the short par 3, actually the easiest hole. I misclubbed, leaving me with a really long putt for birdie. This putt was downwind. It was probably about 40 feet, and I've knocked it past by a good probably 8 foot. As you can imagine, this putt was probably the first time I'd had any doubt in this round. I've made bogey on the easiest hole. These things happen. I've then gone on to the 17th, knowing that it's going to be straight into the wind, a long par 4. It's going to cause some problems. Now, I've hit 2-iron off the tee just to keep it nice and low, and then I've had to hit 2-iron again because the wind is that strong. It started perfectly on line of where I wanted it to go, but didn't drift, so I've ended up in the bunker. Now, because there's no rakes due to COVID-19, I ended up in a footprint. Brilliant. I've hacked it out, left myself a longish putt and 2-putted for a bogey, and 2 bogeys in a row. So that leaves me with being 1 under going down to the last. Now I'm thinking I cannot finish on par or over for this round because I've played really well. Now I'm going to show you every shot that I played on this final hole. Long par 5, wind coming across, can be difficult if you do not play it right and have a good strategy in place. I actually hit an awful tee shot here, but I got away with it. I hit a low pull. I've ended up in the rough, meaning that I've got a layup 170 yards to the first ditch. So I'm just going to hit a pitching wedge down, just short of that. From walking down, it looks like we've got a very similar shot to the last one. I've got about 130 yards left into the flag with a wedge, fading it into that back flag position. It pitched exactly where I wanted it to. However, it was a firm bounce. It rolled over the back of the green and into the rough, leaving me a little bit of a chip left. I've chipped it close and I've tapped it in for my par. And there we have it. Okay, so there's my back 9. 1 under 35, pars 36. I felt like I played really well during this back 9. Had a little bit of a wobble on 7 and 8. However, consolidated it on the last with a nice par save to finish 1 under, a total of 70. Brilliant. So there's lots of positives for me to take from that performance. Things to improve upon. Now, because we haven't been playing as much, it was very noticeable that my stamina has decreased slightly, which is fairly normal, I think, because golf is a totally different type of fitness compared to any other sport. I did start to fatigue towards the end of the round, so this may be a factor towards me having a bit of a wobble towards the end. But hey, I'm looking forward to building on this performance and trying to progress further with my golf. I really hope you like this content. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, Nick Does Golf. Like and comment on the videos that you see. I'd love to hear from as many of you as possible. Make sure you check out my social media platforms as well to keep up with what I get up to on a daily basis. Thanks for watching, guys. See you very soon.